Hello, everyone. Welcome back to The Last Lap. In today's episode, we're going to be previewing the three races this weekend. The trucks are in Gateway, and then the Xfinity and the Cup Series are in Michigan. But before we hop into it, I just want to remind you guys to hit that subscribe button. It really does go a long way. It helps the channel grow. We're getting a lot more reviews on our past few videos, so thank you guys so much for that. We really do appreciate it. And you can also check us out on Instagram at The Last Lap News. We try to post some content on there throughout the week in between our YouTube videos over here. So as always, I have my friend and co-host Matthew on the show. And as you can see, he's back at Liberty. So are you ready for the semester to get going?
Yes, I am. I'm all moved in, as you can tell. The two championship banners are back as my background instead of all my race versions. I don't know which background I prefer, but yeah, it's great to be back, and yep, ready to start the semester out.
Yeah, it would be a pain to move all those die casts back and forth, especially with me. I have a decent amount as well, so yeah, if I was at a different college, I definitely wouldn't bring any of mine. Well, maybe I'd bring like one or two special ones, but anyways, we're gonna hop into some news. We have a few things for you guys, so I'm just gonna list everything out and then we'll talk about it as we go. So the first thing is that Josh Berry, it was finally announced that he is finally getting a full-time Xfinity ride. Finally, like, we've both been on this page for a while where we think he deserved it, and he finally gets that full-time ride opportunity, so great for him to be doing that. And he'll also be filling in for Michael Annett this weekend at Michigan in the Xfinity race, and he'll be filling in for Corey LaJoie in the number 7 in the Cup Series as well, so he'll be doing a doubleheader this weekend for the Xfinity and the Cup Series, and he has a full-time ride for next year for Junior Motorsports, so great news for him. I believe Noah Gragson is the one that's kind of getting booted out, I guess you could say, because he does not have any plans lined up. I believe Annett will probably be back unless something is up with his health. I know his leg, he's had some injuries and all that, so I'm not sure if he'll be back. And then I don't know if Allgaier has a specified contract extended through this season, so he might be like a free agent. I'm not 100% sure, but Noah Gragson is for certain the one that is not sure where he's going to be next year, so it'll be interesting to see what he does, but great for Josh Berry. And the other piece of news is that Christopher Bell did a tire test at Bristol with the next-gen car. We still have not seen the new bodies on track yet. It was still one of the standard next-gen race cars, so still haven't seen those new bodies on the track just yet, but I'm sure that that'll be coming up pretty soon. I think they're getting the cars pretty soon if they haven't already gotten them already, but I'm sure the teams have to do a bunch of things to the cars before they can actually put them on the racetrack. So, tire test for Christopher Bell at Bristol. And one more small thing that it might be important to you guys if you guys are going to a race in the future, but unfortunately NASCAR has tightened the COVID restrictions once again. There isn't any access to the pits or garage area or anything like that. Drivers won't really be making any appearances, and they won't really be that close to the fans, so that's unfortunate to hear. I'm glad that I was able to go last weekend when the only restrictions were you had to wear a mask when you went inside of a building, but it seems like NASCAR's tightened them down a little bit more, so that's unfortunate. I apologize to any fans that might be going to a race in the future. And speaking of a race in the future, I don't know if I should say this yet, or you can, or we'll save it for another video.
Yeah, you can go ahead. We're going anyways.
Okay. So Matthew and I are going to be at Richmond in a few weeks on September 11th, so that's going to be a lot of fun. He's going to meet me there, and I'm pretty sure his dad's going to go, and maybe one more of our other friends might be going as well, so that'll be a really fun time. Looking forward to that, but unfortunately these COVID restrictions, COVID just won't go away, but oh yeah, well, it is what it is. I'm just happy I get to go to a race with you. It's been forever since we've been to a race together, but what do you got to say about this news with Josh Berry and the tire test?
Well, Josh Berry's announcement is definitely not surprising to me. I knew from the moment he won in Martinsville that he was going to get a full-time ride with Junior Motorsports. It was all going to come down to sponsors, and it looks like Dale Jr. has work things out for him to get the opportunity. But now here comes the hard part. Who's going to be the odd man out? Josh Berry, he's going to be in there next year. Sam Mayer is reportedly in there next year as well, full time. I think that's what Dale Jr. said during that press conference. I'm pretty sure Justin Allgaier is going to be there. And so it kind of leans between Noah Gragson and Michael Annett. But I also heard that Dale Jr. is also thinking about doing 5 full-time teams, so he can have Noah Gragson in that car, so he doesn't, get snubbed out, basically. So he could potentially have 5 full-time teams. Remember, the Xfinity Series, the Truck Series, they don't have no limit. They have no limits how many cars they can have, unlike the Cup Series. So they can have 5 full-time teams. It's probably gonna be a hassle because 4 cars is hard enough to manage. 5 full-time teams, that's a lot right there. I mean, you're asking for a lot right there. So, well, it's Dale Jr. He can find. I feel like he can find a way to make that work, but there's also a chance that Noah Gragson may be going up to the Cup Series. It probably won't be competitive, but he has sponsorship with Bass Pro Shop and I think it's called Black something coffee. I forgot what it was called, but it's some type of coffee company. But so if Noah Gragson wants to go to the Cup, that's fine by him. But if he's decided to stay Xfinity, they might go 5 full-time teams. So we'll see how that works out. And as for the next gen car news, it's great to always see that on track. And apparently the teams have already got the chassis. They're basically assembling them right now for their first more than one next gen car test that's coming up. I forgot where that is and when that will be, but I know it's sometime soon.
Yeah, I think I don't want to be misquoted, but I believe it might be in September or October at the Roval, I believe. Not 100% sure, but I'm thinking that's when the rumored, or that's when the test day is for those cars and chassis at different sponsors. Different body styles and all of that, but I could be wrong, but that's what I think off the top of my head. But so this weekend we got the trucks at Gateway, like I said, on Friday, and then we got the Xfinity Series Saturday at Michigan, and we have the Cup Series following that. And since Matthew got 1 point last week, which is good, thank goodness, good thing he didn't get 4 or 5, I'm gonna go ahead and do my truck and Xfinity pick first. And in the Truck Series, I already know I gotta go with the guy, the man, John Hunter Nemechek. I have to pick him because he is obviously the favorite, and I would argue the best truck every weekend. So I have to go with John Hunter Nemechek there. And for the Xfinity Series, I'm gonna go with Justin Allgaier. I feel like him and Austin Cindric, I think, have been the 2 best, and AJ Allmendinger's kind of been right behind them as well. So I'm gonna go with Justin Allgaier as my Xfinity pick. So go ahead and tell me your truck and Xfinity picks.
So my truck pick might be a surprise to you. It's gonna be Todd Gilliland, because last year when they raced the Gateway, he flat out dominated that race, but did not pick up the win because who won the Gateway race last year? Was it Sheldon Creed? Maybe.
That sounds right. I believe so.
That might have been Sheldon Creed. I remember it was Sheldon Creed or somebody else knocked Todd Gilliland out of the way for the lead, and he ended up winning. And Todd Gilliland did not win that race. And ever since he won at COTA this year, he has been on a tear, being really consistent, being up front. So I feel like Todd Gilliland could redeem himself from last year and dominate like he did last year. And as for the Xfinity race at Michigan, it's going to be Ty Gibbs. Come on, I got to pick him. There's no other explanation. He's basically the big prospect in NASCAR right now. And, it seems like any track we go to, he's just always up there, it seems like. Now, I know he was up there for a little bit, Indy Road Course, but he had a couple times he got spun out. But I feel like he can easily rebound knowing him and be up front. So that's my Xfinity pick.
Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised by that truck pick, but you have good reasoning behind it. Todd Gilliland has been very good the past few weeks ever since he got that win, so great pick there. And then I'm not surprised at all by Ty Gibbs. We'll see if he can make a run at it here. He's had quite the season in the Xfinity series, even though he isn't even full-time. He's part-time. Even though, like, honestly, he should just be full-time with how many races he's run. He's only missed, like, let's see, Kyle Busch won 5 races, and then Christopher Bell ran a race, that's 6. And he missed Daytona. Ty Dillon ran Daytona, so that's 7. He may have missed 1 or 2 other races after that, but I mean, might as well just consider him full-time in the Xfinity series because he's ran everything else. But great picks there, but you can go ahead and do your cup picks as well.
Alrighty. Main pick, we all know who I gotta choose. Kyle Larson. For clear, obvious reasons. First of all, Michigan's a big track to him. I mean, that's where he got his first career win. He has that of all the tracks on the schedule. That's where he's got the most wins at Michigan. I mean, this is a big track for him for his career. So, of course, it's gotta be Kyle Larson. And then my second pick, I do not trust any SHR cars this year, so I'm not picking them. But I'm going to go with Martin Truex Jr. I feel like the last couple of weeks he's kind of rebounded a little bit from that little summer slump. I know last weekend was basically awful for him, but I feel like he can easily be up there. So I got Truex. And then my third pick's going to be Kyle Busch. And here's my reason why with this one. Yes, this is probably not one of his best tracks. He only has 1 win there. But it seems like this year, he's been really strong when it comes to these 550 horsepower tracks. As you can tell, Kansas, he won that track. At Pocono with the 550 horsepower, he won that. And we're going to Michigan, which is using the 550 horsepower. It's just something with him and the 550 horsepower this year that I noticed him having great amount of speed. He should have won Atlanta, but we all know what happened there. So I'm not going to count him out at this track, even though it's not one of his best tracks. So that's my third pick.
Alright, so for me, my main pick is going to be, in fact, Chase Elliott. And I have good reasoning behind this. I have very good reasoning behind this.
I hope so.
He has ran very well at Michigan, especially back in the 24 car, because I believe he finished second both times in 2017 or something like that. He had the lead on a late race restart and choked it. I'm not going to talk about that much. But Chase Elliott,
so long ago.
Yeah, but still, he's had a good stretch at Michigan. Plus, he's a Hendrick Motorsports car, and Hendrick has been fairly good this season. Granted, Kyle Larson's has been the best Hendrick car this season, but since Chase Elliott has a decent track record here at Michigan, I'm going to go with him as my first pick. And as for my second pick, I believe I'm going to go with Denny Hamlin. He's coming off a quite eventful finish last week at Indy Road Course, and he's been turning it on the past few weeks. He's been building momentum, so I'm going to pick him as my second pick. And then my third pick, I am actually going to pick an SHR car. I'm going to pick Kevin Harvick because he has won, I believe, 4 out of the last 5 races, if I'm correct. He's won he swept Michigan last year, so even though SHR has not been great, I mean, last week they showed up. Cole Custer and Chase Briscoe were in the top 10 for a decent amount of that race last weekend, so maybe Kevin Harvick can turn around and get a win. So Kevin Harvick will be my third pick. So I have Chase Elliott as my first pick, Denny Hamlin as my second pick, and Kevin Harvick as my third pick. So do you have anything else to add, any comments, anything like that before we go ahead and wrap this episode up?
Well, I just hope the fans see a good race this weekend. Let's just be honest. I'm not looking forward to Michigan at all, but we know anything can happen, just like Pocono this year. Both of those races were really memorable, to be honest. So I'm hoping Michigan's the same way, but I'm gonna feel bad for those fans if it's another snooze fest. I mean, those fans deserve better. I say we turn that track to a short track instead of Fontana. Let's just be honest here. Let's just take the Fontana plans and do it in Michigan. Let's just. I mean, there's a lot more memorable races with the Gen 6 car at Fontana than it is in Michigan. So, but that's all I have to say. I hope it's a great race, and oh yeah, and also don't forget about Gateway too, for the Truck Series. I honestly think the Cup Series needs to go to Gateway. Let's just be honest. I mean, they want to race closer to these big cities. That's literally like the perfect what they have there. So, yeah, that's all I have to say.
Yeah, I think Gateway would be a really good spot for the. I mean, they could try it with the Xfinity series maybe first and see how that goes too, and then
they've raced there before.
Oh, well, they haven't in a while though, so they probably need to go back to the Xfinity series there, and then maybe eventually the Cup Series will. I doubt it, but you never know. But I think Gateway would be a good track for all three series to be at eventually, but unfortunately for now we're stuck with Michigan, so hopefully it's a decent race. We'll see. They have. Sorry to anybody who lives in Michigan or goes to Michigan. That was not an intentional roast. I apologize.
I know one person on Instagram that's from there.
Anyways, but yeah, we'll see. They're adding the resin, not the PJ1, and from what the last time they put the resin down, I think it worked decently compared to the PJ1. I don't know. I don't know all this just weird traction stuff they put down, but hopefully it'll end up being a decent race. That's all I'm asking, just a decent race. But that's going to go ahead and wrap this episode up. We'll come out with our review video of Michigan later on next week. But until then, we will see you guys in the next video.